Hi guys, happy Tuesday. I'm just doing a very impromptu live with you guys here, encouraging you to spend 15 minutes or more sitting down to paint. I have an event today and I will be teaching folks how to paint this right here. And yes, we are going to be using granulating colors. So this is going to be a fun, simple project, especially for those who are new. We're focusing a lot on brush control, and for these events I typically break down my lesson like this, where we learn to, well, not learn, we practice brush control with the thin strokes to get our stems. Then we get into really pressing down to apply a lot of pressure for leaves, and then really extending, and this is where you figure out how much water you have, like if it's good enough or if you don't have enough, through the white space in between. And then last but not least, splatter. So keeping it very simple. And I figured let's just make it alive because I've not done anything on here for you guys in a while. And I'll be using, like, these colors are extremely potent, and so lots of water. And I'm going to challenge myself and use the number 8 brush to paint this. So here's hoping that folks attending this event enjoy this. But this is the process that I will be teaching. So we're just using one brush. And again, I'm all about less is more. Less is more? Yes. So using one brush is great. So using that nice fine pointed tip, we draw in our stem. And these are going to be postcards for folks, so they don't have to extend too much in case they shake or break the line and all that good stuff. But this is just, I think, in my opinion, a great way to introduce watercolor. Just the basics, because there's really so much involved, and until and unless you practice, you're not really understanding how the medium works. So you need to allow yourself time and opportunities to learn and grow. Anyway, so this is me laying out my structure, and then from here I'm going to be building. So taking my time to just draw this in, and I'm using a darker tone. And let's do one more here. And I think I'll just have these two here. And then, oh, actually, you know what? Just realized all this space happening there. So I'm going to extend this and do another one here so that it kind of flops over some more. And we've got more going on there. Then getting maybe like a 50-50 mix of color. I'm going to start off with doing your basic leaf structures, shapes structures. And I want to try and control the size of them, because the ones at the very top should be the smallest. And then as you go lower, smallest and darkest, as you go lower, you are making it a tad bigger if you can control. Again, brush control is integral. This is also a great exercise to learn to do those things. And then what I like to do is, if it's really dark, to get a slightly different variation, you can always get extra water on your brush. So I'm just getting water on the tip of my brush. I'm just going to paint in another one, kind of almost guiding the color to get into this shape that we have just painted. And that can only happen when it is wet or damp. So keep that in mind if you're looking for those nice seamless blooms. So this is like a very basic, repetitive lesson, because most people coming to events like this are sort of kind of interested in art, but not really looking to invest a whole lot of time. They're there for fun. They're there to spend time with friends. And so we're keeping it light and not too intensive. So I'm just getting more water on my brush as I go lower. And let's see, this one can be a lot bigger. So you got that nice dark to light happening. I'm gonna do one more here. And then I'm really trying to make this one flop downward. Let's get a little bit more water on the tip of my brush. I like to have different variations of the hues going on. So that's what I'm doing over here, just adding some of that. And I think this should be good. Let's add one more here. Perfect. So I think this is good enough. And now, really watering down my color, I'm going to do the long leaves, but super light. And because these are granulating colors, once this dries up, you'll see a different hue happening, which I think is going to be super fun. Anyways, okay, so here we go. Same sort of deal. Paint in your stems first, kind of guiding you where you need to add things in. And then I'll do one flopping this way. I have a lot more room over here, so I feel like I could extend a lot more on that side. So here we go, long, elongated leaves. So pressing down, trailing off, dipping to get more water, pressing down, trailing off, dipping to get more water, pressing down, trailing off. And the stems almost help guide you as where you're headed and where you are trailing off. So just going to add more water to my mixture and just continue kind of filling up these spaces. So for instance, painting in another stem here, and I'm going to do another longer leaf, lighter leaf. So if you've been watching my YouTube or any tutorials for a while, I always say you can create contrast not only in color but also with the hue changes. So we're using one color for all of this, and you're still able to differentiate what is what, obviously by the shape as well. So many different factors, really. Things do not have to be complicated. You can literally do two things on repeat. So right now, all we're doing is doing the leaf stroke, and we are doing the grazing to get the nice thin stems. And we have like a whole flower with leaves sort of situation happening. I'm going to make these smaller at the bottom. And then as I'm creating more, I'm going to kind of try and give this more of a tapering shape so that it doesn't all extend out like crazy. So these leaves are slightly smaller in between, and they don't even have to have a stem extending all the way down. Would have been nice to do one here, but I have that leaf coming down, so it's okay. I'll do one more. I want to do one more here. And I'll make this small too. And then really, really going light if you want to enhance things a little bit more. Getting a lighter tone. And just kind of filling up the spot. And then I'm just going to do a smaller one here because I feel like that one just looks like really odd the way it is. Yeah. Now, because most of the paintings that we do that are like this, freestyle, going with the flow kind of situations, it's always good to take a stand, like stand up while you're painting at some point, and then survey where you think you need to add certain elements and kind of figure out how you want the structure and the composition. When you do this, you're kind of working more on your composition skills, and you're also working on what you like. So for instance, I like the whole idea of having a little bit more flip-floppy leaves. So I'm going to be adding more. You might have decided, you know what, we did 3 and we're good. So it really, really depends on your likes, dislikes as well. So this is why I say when I show you stuff, just run with the idea. I'm showing you the technique, but I want you to be inspired to go out there and paint your own and come into your own style. That was too big a gap for me, so I absolutely had to have something in there. Let's just extend that down here. Great. So this is what I ended up with. Last but not least, we are doing a splatter. And I'm just mixing whatever leftover color I have. And you can either use your finger or you can use another brush. And this is the fun part. So I added some at the bottom just so that it can seep into the damp leaves and give us some nice variation happening in there and interesting textures. And then I'm adding some at the top again to kind of give it more texture, but also make it seem like there's background background buds happening, so to speak. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to wait for this to dry, but you can already see the one color. Okay, these Supervision granulating colors, whichever brand you have. I think Daniel Smith has some great ones too. But you can use one color, and depending on your ratio mixes, look at the different hues that you're able to get. So, 15 minutes of painting for you doesn't have to be super complicated. It can be something simple like this. You're just repeating over and over, getting in your Zen moment, spending time with you, prioritizing you. Yeah, and that's that. So a wildflower heart. I love the flow, calming, perfect for my self-care practice today. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed this. I'm hoping this is able to be saved on here so folks can later see it, but let me see if I end this. I don't know. Let's just see what happens. But thank you guys for joining me. I gotta go get ready. Stay tuned for pictures on the event. Let's see how it goes. Bye.